While I slept, he stripped our entire home bare.
What have you done?
Lindsay?
Everything gone. All because of
Lindsay?
one reckless mistake I made at an office party. My name's Natalie, I'm 29, and not long ago, I thought I had everything I ever wanted. I was married to Lucas, 31. For 2 wonderful years, we built what I thought was a life filled with love, stability, and dreams too strong to shatter. But it all crumbled faster than I could have imagined. That morning, I woke with a knot in my stomach I couldn't explain. The house, once warm and alive with laughter, felt hollow. Every chair, every appliance, even our framed photos, missing. At first, I thought we'd been robbed, but the locks were untouched, nothing broken. Then I saw it. A note on the kitchen counter. Lucas's handwriting was clear as day. Happy New Year, Natalie. May your fresh start treat you better than I did. I collapsed into a chair, chest tight, pulse racing. The man who had been my rock through every storm was gone. No fight, no goodbye, just silence. To understand how it got here, I have to take you back. 3 years earlier, I just started an internship at a mid-sized consulting firm when I first met Lucas. He was a project supervisor, sharp, polished, quietly magnetic. I tried to keep things professional, but the pull between us was undeniable. After a few projects together, we started dating. 8 months later, he proposed on a snowy mountain weekend. It was just us, wrapped in a love that felt boundless. Marriage moved fast. Lucas soon landed a job offer from a rival firm, nearly doubling his salary. We bought a bigger house in the suburbs and started building a future: kids, trips, home renovations. Around then, my own career took off, and I was promoted into a high-pressure role. That's when the stress began to wear me down. Late nights, projects dragged home, and too much wine to take the edge off. 1 glass became 2, then the bottle. Lucas noticed. At first, he was gentle, but as I spiraled, his concern grew heavier. I brushed him off, swore I was fine. But I wasn't. The breaking point was the night I blacked out. That terrified me into seeking help. I checked into rehab and stepped away from work for 6 months. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Through it all, Lucas never left, never threatened to walk away. He was my anchor. When I finally returned to work, I was assigned to a new manager, Ethan Carter. Mid-40s, full of energy, charismatic. Lucas didn't trust him, said he seemed manipulative. I brushed it off as jealousy. Ethan was smart, engaging, good at his job. When a colleague went on maternity leave, I ended up working late most nights with him to keep projects on track. We traded emails and texts long after hours. Lucas noticed, called it out. I told him he was overreacting, but deep down, I knew the distance between us was growing. One night, after an argument, I snapped. Told Lucas to trust me or back off. That was when the real crack opened. Not long after, Ethan started sharing personal stories. One late evening, he brought me a coffee and asked how I was really doing. I broke down. I told him about the tension at home, the guilt, the exhaustion of pretending. And in that raw moment, I made the worst mistake of my life. I hugged him and kissed him. It wasn't passion, not romance, just messy, confusing, and instantly regretted. We pulled back, ashamed. We promised to move on, to act like it hadn't happened. But the damage was already done. Whispers spread at work. People noticed the closeness, the laughter, the subtle signs. Eventually, it reached Lucas. One night, he confronted me, demanding honesty. I lied. I blamed gossip, never mentioned the kiss. I buried it, praying it would fade so I could fix things. By December, I was desperate to make amends. I cooked his favorite dinner, planned a quiet night, promised to switch teams after the project wrapped. He seemed to soften. We agreed to start fresh in the new year. Then came the company's New Year's Eve party. Ethan suggested Lucas join, hoping it would ease tension. I agreed, thinking it might help erase his doubts. That night, the drinks flowed. I hadn't touched alcohol in over a year, but I convinced myself one glass wouldn't hurt. One became 5. Lucas was upset, but I brushed him off. It was New Year's. Slurring, dismissive, reckless. At some point, I sat between him and Ethan. After that, it all went blurry. The next morning, I woke alone. Lucas was gone. Everything was gone. His note sat on the counter, haunting me. I called and called, no answer. I read those words over and over, numb with disbelief. A few days later, I reached out to Ethan, desperate for answers. He told me Lucas had tried to stop me from drinking more. I resisted. We fought in front of everyone. At midnight, I toasted with Ethan, hugged him, and kissed him again. This time, it wasn't hidden. Lucas saw. And that was the end. I sat frozen, tears burning my face. In one night, in one careless choice, I destroyed the only relationship that had survived everything. Now, months later, I sit alone in a bare apartment. No photos. No warmth. Just silence. Lucas hasn't reached out. I doubt he ever will. I'm sober again, but the emptiness inside me isn't about alcohol. It's about losing the man who stayed by my side when no one else did. Trust is fragile. Sometimes, it's not even the betrayal that ends a relationship, it's the lies, the distance, the reckless decisions we justify in weakness. And when someone loves you at your lowest, you can't give them a reason to doubt you at your best.